everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a fabulous day or night wherever you are in the world. In today's look I'll be doing this look right here. Hopefully the camera picks it up. You'll notice a couple of things different in this video. For one, I have a different background now. This is thanks to my husband. He did it when I was at work, and I have a light down here as well. I'm still trying to figure it out whether it's supposed to be where it is or if it's supposed to be anywhere else, but every time I look down I get blinded, so that's always fun. Today's video is going to be a talk over. I'm not going to be chatting at all through it, but my voiceover will be telling you what I'm doing. So let's just jump right into it. In my hand I have what you call a third degree. You have two different components, part A and part B. You never, ever mix them together in the same jar, otherwise they set and you can't use it anymore. It's a very expensive product. So I'll be using a mixing palette and a spatula. With part A I'll be getting one side of the spatula and then part B with the other side of the spatula, mixing them together and applying it to my forehead like so. So I start with a line and I'm doing it bit by bit, otherwise it becomes too much too soon and it sets and I don't have time to manipulate it into the way that I want to. I'm not going to worry too much about blending it this time, just focusing more on getting a product actually on my head and setting it in the way that I want it to be set. Next I'm going to be applying a horizontal line on top of the one that I've already done, making sure there's a gap in between. Otherwise when I apply the blood, it's just going to look stupid and yeah, kind of silly. So again, I'm just applying it where I've applied the other line, blending it out as I go but not too much. Next I'm going to be using Face of Australia loose translucent powder and a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to be going over that exactly where I've done with the loose translucent powder to make it set and to make it more like natural, I guess. It's kind of special effects so you can't really make it natural, but you know what I mean, trying to mattify it down. Next I'm using Nose and Scar Wax by Ben Nye. I'm going to be making a worm into them and applying it to my forehead with some moisturizer that obviously you can see in my hand now. So I apply a little bit at a time, otherwise again it sets and you can't really use it. I'm using spirit gum as well. When you apply the spirit gum, you've always got to make sure that you're tapping it out, otherwise it's not going to set. With spirit gum, I cannot stress it enough, you need to make sure you're tapping it until it becomes tacky on your head, otherwise this is not going to work. So applying bits at a time as I go. I'm done. Bye. Totally kidding. You just apply it to your head, pulling it down, making sure you're sort of making it even and nice and smooth so the transition works quite well. If your hands for whatever reason get quite sticky and it's like sticking to the wax, just apply more moisturizer and you should be fine. So making it smooth, making sure there's really no bumps or lumps across as I'm going. As you can see, I'm applying more moisturizer as well, and just pulling it straight across and then pulling it down as I go, making sure it's all blended out perfectly. This is the part where you really want to make sure it is blended out, otherwise it's going to look a bit weird, like the wax starts and it kind of, you can see where it starts. So just making sure you're completely blending it out. Take all the time you need. Obviously I've sped it up a lot and I've cut a lot of it out. It took me about 40 minutes to an hour just to do this part right here. So obviously I'm smoothing it out to make sure you can't see where the wax starts and ends. And then I'm going to be applying a grey colour paint. This is like a grease paint. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do the dimensions and stuff because I'm not entirely sure. Obviously I'm just starting out this sort of thing, so I'm just putting the grey all in the cut where I've obviously left a space. Next I'm using black paint. I'm pretending like I'm really strong when in reality I actually got my husband to open it for me because I'm weak. So I'm just going on the inside of my cut, and I think sort of this gives me definition, but it probably doesn't. It makes it look like it's deeper than what it actually is. It probably doesn't, but you know, that's okay. So just applying that in my cut. I'm then going in with some scab blood. I'm going to be applying this on the both left and right side of my face, and then in the middle I'm going to be using a completely different blood. Now this blood is going to make the dripping, which is kind of awesome, not gonna lie. But it does take a while for it to drip down and to kind of manipulate it into the way that you want it to. So it does take a bit. This is another sort of blood. This one's a thinner consistency, I guess, and this one will actually fall down on your face. The difference between scab blood and this kind of blood obviously is that the scab blood won't drip, because obviously the scab blood is just like dried up blood. Too much information, but it is a special effects thing going on, so of course that's going to happen. You just have to be really careful with the blood that I'm using, because it does drip everywhere. So if you're going to wear clothes with it, obviously you can do it like without clothes, because it will drip everywhere, but if you're going to wear clothes, make sure they're really old and raggedy, otherwise you will ruin them. So now I'm just going to be making it look like I've just completely cut my face open, and I'm just letting the blood drip down to where I need it to be. As you can see, I'm letting it drip back into the container because no one else is using it, so it's okay. The best thing about special effects is that if you get it everywhere, it's perfectly okay, because it's supposed to look like that. So as you can see, I have it all over my hands, and it's alright, because it looks like you just helped yourself. Just cleaning it up a little bit, and that's about it. Just making sure I'm getting rid of all the excess blood, and yeah. Come on, Lynsey. So, this is the final product. It would be awesome to walk into like a dress-up party looking like this. Yeah, I can just imagine the looks that you would receive. Even going to the shops like this, I can imagine the looks you would receive. Obviously, just be careful not to get it in your eye, because it does hurt. It does get very sticky. And that's it. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, inquiries, leave them in the comments below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!